In a turn of fortunes from bad to worse for Trump in the federal classified documents case, former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows has reportedly told Jack Smith that he could not recall Trump ever ordering or even discussing declassifying classified material before leaving the White House, nor was he aware of any standing order from Trump authorizing the automatic declassification of materials taken out of the Oval Office. And I know a lot of you are going to hear that and be like, yeah. But there are two reasons why this is a pretty monumental hit to Trump. First of all, this is a first-hand witness who may very well be cooperating with the special counsel in a case against Donald Trump, but at the very least offering first-hand testimony that directly incriminates the former president. And second, it directly refutes Donald Trump's only defense. Remember, in August of 2022, Trump's team issued a statement claiming that while he was still in office, Trump had issued, quote, a standing order that documents removed from the Oval Office and taken to the residence were deemed to be declassified the moment they removed them. And then, of course, on Truth Social, Trump himself insisted that the documents at Mar-a-Lago were, quote, all declassified. And if anyone would know of such an order, it would probably be the guy's own chief of staff, meaning there was no order, just like there was no blanket declassification. But it gets worse for Trump. According to ABC, Meadows had also included in an early draft of the prologue of his book, The Chief's Chief, a description of Trump having a classified war plan, quote, on the couch at his office in Bedminster, New Jersey, at a meeting attended by Meadows' ghostwriter and his publicist, albeit not by Meadows himself. The reference to that document was removed from the book before it was published, given that it would be, quote, problematic had Trump had such a document in his possession, which raises the question, if Trump had already declassified that document, as he claims he did to all documents, it wouldn't have been a problem. So what does it say that his possession of that document remained problematic? Meadows also told investigators that shortly after the National Archives first requested the return of the White House documents taken to Mar-a-Lago, that he offered Trump that he could go through the boxes to retrieve any official records and return them to the White House where they belonged. According to Meadows, Trump refused his offer, meaning that Meadows was aware that the National Archives had requested the return of those stolen documents. When he discussed returning them with Trump, presumably Trump would then become aware that the National Archives had requested the return of those stolen documents, meaning that Donald Trump made the conscious decision to maintain possession of documents that he knew were stolen, that he knew were being sought after by the government, and instead unlawfully retain them. Here's Preet Bharara in terms of how damaging this will be for Trump and his defense.
But this is additional evidence by someone, as was pointed out, who's very close to Donald Trump, undercuts his theory, which was on its face a little bit laughable, that he could telepathically or automatically declassify something. We'll have to see how it works out with respect to his testimony. Can he be compelled to testify? Would he take the Fifth Amendment? Would he get immunity? You know, all those things are possible, and we'll have to see how that unfolds. But yeah, I agree, it's pretty damning.
So yes, this will be a major blow to Trump's legal defense in the classified documents case, but let's not also forget that we also have audio of Donald Trump himself admitting that he was in possession of classified documents that he no longer had the power to declassify.
These are bad, sick people.
That was your coup, you know, against you.
Well, it started right at the
beginning.
beginning.
When Milley's talking about, oh, you were going to try to do a coup. No, they were trying to do that before you even were sworn in.
That's right.
Trying to overthrow your election.
Well, with Milley, let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran. Isn't it amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up. Look. This was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him.
Wow.
We looked at some. This was him. This wasn't done by me. This was him. All sorts of stuff. It's pages long. Look. Wait a minute. Let's see here. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I just found, isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case, you know. Except it is like highly confidential, secret. This is secret information. But look at this. You attack, and
Hillary would print that out all the time, you know.
she'd send it,
email.
no, she'd send it to Anthony Weiner,
Yeah.
the pervert.
Please print.
By the way, isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
I was just saying, because we were talking about it. And, you know, he said, he wanted to attack Iran and what? These are the papers. This was done by the military, given to me. I think we can probably, right?
I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to try to
Declassify.
figure out yeah.
See, as president, I could have declassified
Yeah.
it. Now I can't, you know, but this is
Yeah,
classified.
now we have a problem.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's so cool. I mean, it's so, here and I have, And you probably almost didn't believe me, but now you believe me.
No, I believe
It's
you.
incredible, right?
No,
Hey, bring some Cokes in, please.
And not for nothing, but if Trump's plan during this trial that's coming up is to claim that he had already declassified everything, then why say the words on recording, "If I was president, I could have declassified them, now I can't"? That doesn't exactly scream, they're all already declassified. And anyone with even a cursory understanding of the English language would probably agree. So whether it's Trump's own top officials undermining his defense or Donald Trump himself undermining his own defense, the point here is abundantly clear, that Donald Trump has no defense in this case. I'm not sure how many more members of Trump's own cabinet or how many more words out of the mouth of Donald Trump himself need to be heard before we all recognize the extent to which this guy is guilty beyond all doubt. Which is not to say that Trump won't still present these excuses in public, but they're not intended to win in a court of law. They are intended to win in the court of public opinion. Trump has two goals here. First, it's to win the presidency in 2024 by presenting himself as some victim of big government prosecution at the hands of Joe Biden, which of course he's not. He's being prosecuted by a special counsel and indicted by juries of his own peers for crimes that he committed for the entire country to see. But if he can frame himself as the victim and use it to curry sympathy support during the election and then win, then he can use those levers of power as president to absolve himself of any accountability. That is the Hail Mary play here. The shorter term play is to complain on an endless loop about these prosecutions being fake and rigged and illegitimate and politicized because he's trying to taint the jury pool. If he can convince one person out of those who ultimately end up on the jury that he's the victim here, then he can get the hung jury that he's desperate for. In other words, in either situation, Donald Trump's goal is to lie in public enough to manipulate the people who are listening to him. Not because what he's saying is true, is not, but because per usual, his priority is helping himself. So look, I hope that even a single person who would have otherwise believed Donald Trump would watch this and recognize what he's doing. If this guy had a valid defense, he would present it in court, but he doesn't. And so instead, he's choosing to lie while throwing a bunch of legal spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. And even though it's being undermined on a daily basis by the people closest to him, still that won't stop this disinformation campaign because disinformation is all he knows. And he's decided that it's his only hope of evading accountability. And at the end of the day, that's all he cares about. He will plow through anyone and anything so long as he can protect himself. Before you go, I need some help. Please subscribe to this channel and do your part to help grow the progressive media ecosystem. I don't do sponsorships or paid ads, I won't ask for money, but just subscribing to this channel goes a really long way and it helps get the message out to more people. The subscribe button is right here on the screen. You can also subscribe to my Spanish language channel, which I made to reach those crucial Spanish-speaking voters. That link is on the screen too. And finally, if you want to listen to my audio podcast, you can follow that link as well. Thanks so much for watching.